It all started with one offhand comment about Pam Bondi. By the next morning, Elliot Graves was out of a job. It was supposed to be just another night of live debate. The cameras were rolling, the stage lights were blazing, and both the studio audience and viewers at home were ready for another round of verbal fireworks. Elliot Graves had built his career on being bold, unfiltered, and unapologetic. He didn't just question his guests, he took them apart piece by piece. Whether you loved him or hated him, you watched. That night started out like usual. The topic was corporate influence in politics. Classic debate fuel. Elliot had two guests at the table, Brian Colton, a political strategist, and Madison Rourke, a conservative commentator. The three of them sat under the studio lights, the polished desk gleaming in front of them. Elliot leaned in, voice thick with skepticism. Let's talk about Pam Bondi. Her whole career's been about serving the powerful and prosecuting the powerless. And then, boom, she lands a gig with Trump. Come on, Brian. If that's not political favoritism, what is? Brian straightened his tie, clearly ready for it. You're way off, Elliot. Bondi's career is built on her legal skills. She was Attorney General for 8 years. She's respected. Elliot let out a dry laugh. Respected by who? Corporate donors? A chuckle rippled through the audience. Madison crossed her arms. She had been waiting for this one. You act like you're America's moral compass, Elliot. But let's be real. You pick your villains. You call it corruption when Bondi does it, but stay silent when it fits your side. And then it happened. Caught up in the heat of the moment, Elliot smirked and let the words fly. Pam Bondi, please. She's been selling herself to the highest bidder for years. Silence. Heavy. Too long. Even Elliot, who never blinked under pressure, seemed to realize he'd crossed a line. Madison's face tightened. Brian leaned back, unreadable. Madison didn't waste a second. Did you really just say that? Her voice was ice cold. Elliot, always quick on his feet, tried to recover. I'm talking about her career, Madison. The way she plays the system, gets close with powerful men. Madison cut him off. Say what you want about her politics, but what you're implying? Disgusting. Elliot waved her off. Oh, come on. You know exactly what I meant. But it was too late. The control room knew it. The producers in their earpieces knew it. And most importantly, the internet knew it. Even before the segment ended, the clip was already going viral. The show had barely wrapped when a producer tapped Elliot on the arm. Boss wants to see you, now. Elliot sighed, ran a hand through his salt and pepper hair, and stood up. He'd been in this business long enough to know, when they ask for a quick meeting right after a show, it's never good news. But this time felt different. He followed the producer through the maze of studio hallways. Camera crews were packing up, interns avoided eye contact. When they reached the executive suite, the door was already open. Inside, James Halpern, the network's programming VP, sat behind his sleek glass desk, arms crossed. Next to him, PR head Mara Lynn was glued to her phone, scrolling fast. Elliot recognized the look, damage control mode. James didn't even look up. Close the door. Elliot chuckled dryly. No small talk? No great show tonight? James finally met his eyes, and for the first time, there wasn't a trace of amusement in them. You seen what's happening online? Mara turned her screen around. A viral tweet thread. Elliot's exact words, followed by tens of thousands of furious replies. People were calling it sexist, disgraceful, unprofessional. Others were defending him, saying he was just speaking the truth. But the headlines? Brutal. Elliot Graves crosses the line. Network remains silent after host's insulting remark. Pam Bondi smear blows up in prime time. Elliot clenched his jaw. Okay, not great. But come on, this'll blow over. It always does. James shook his head. Not this time. Mara slid a paper across the desk. Legal wants this out by midnight. An apology. Own it, the usual. Elliot skimmed it. I deeply regret my choice of words. I never intended to offend anyone. He pushed the paper back. This is garbage. I might as well throw myself under the bus. Mara stayed calm. If you don't release a statement, the network might release one for you. That hit different. This wasn't about damage control anymore. They weren't trying to ride it out. They were looking for a clean exit. Still, Elliot wasn't about to roll over. He stood up, straightened his blazer. "I'm not apologizing for something I didn't do." James sighed. "Then I hope you've got a backup plan." Elliot didn't respond. He just walked out. The hallway felt longer than before. He pulled out his phone. His name was trending at number 1. Right under it, Fire Elliot Graves. This wasn't just backlash anymore, it was a takedown. And the worst part? He wasn't the one in control. He didn't go home. Not yet. He needed air, space to think. He walked a few blocks and ducked into a quiet, no-name bar off Wilshire. No TVs, no press, just peace. He slid onto a stool. "Whiskey, neat." The bartender poured without saying a word, but the silence didn't last. His phone buzzed again. Unknown number. Something told him to answer. Elliot Graves. A pause, then a voice he recognized. "You're in deep this time, Elliot." Ben Mathers, former exec, a guy who knew how these situations really played out. "What do you want, Ben?" "Nothing, just figured I'd give you a heads up. You're about to get sacrificed." Elliot's grip tightened on his glass. "They haven't made a decision yet." Ben laughed. "Oh, they have. They just haven't told you yet. This isn't about what you said. It's about who you are. You're unpredictable. You don't follow the script. And tonight, you gave them the perfect excuse." A cold weight settled in Elliot's chest. "So what? This was planned?" "Not planned," Ben said. "Just convenient?" And right then, Elliot got it. His success didn't protect him anymore. He wasn't an asset now. He was a liability. Elliot didn't set an alarm that night. He knew the call was coming. By the time sunlight crept through the curtains of his West Hollywood apartment, his phone was already buzzing. The name on the screen? James Halpern. No surprises. He let it ring 3 times, then picked up. "Yeah?" James took a breath. "You know why I'm calling." Elliot swung his legs over the side of the bed, rubbed his face. "Hit me." "The board met this morning. It was unanimous. Your contract's terminated, effective immediately." No hesitation, no sugarcoating. 15 years gone in a single breath. Elliot let out a dry laugh. "Let me guess, damage to the brand? Advertisers spooked?" James didn't deny it. "We're announcing it within the hour. You might want to get ahead of it. Say something first." Elliot leaned back, stared at the ceiling. "And if I don't?" A pause. Then James's tone changed. Lower, colder. "Then we'll release our own version. One that doesn't help you." That one landed. It wasn't just about firing him. It was about control, reputation, silence. Elliot clenched his jaw. "So that's how this goes. Threats." James didn't answer right away. "It's just reality." More silence. Then James added, softer this time, "I warned you last night. You could have just apologized." Elliot closed his eyes, exhaled slow. "I'm not built for that." "Then I guess this is goodbye." Click. Elliot just sat there, phone still in hand, staring at nothing. Then, another buzz. A text from Mara, the PR lead. "Going live in 5, stay off Twitter." Too late. He opened Twitter. The statement was already trending. "Effective immediately, Elliot Graves is no longer part of our network. We remain committed to respectful and responsible discourse in all programming." And just like that, the firestorm hit. Elliot Graves is sober. Cancel culture wins again. Half the replies were celebration. The other half? Fury. Good riddance. Punished for telling the truth. This isn't about what he said, it's about silencing dissent. Elliot stared at the screen. His pulse was calm. They thought this was the end. It wasn't. 2 days later, he launched his own channel. No sponsors, no filters. Just a camera, a mic, and his voice. The first video dropped Thursday night. No polished statement, no script, just Elliot, face to camera. "They think they shut me down. They didn't." The tone? Raw, real. No edits. No apologies. No excuses. Just the truth. "This was never about one comment," he said. This is about a system that eats its own. You stop playing their game, they erase you. The views exploded, over 1 million within hours. The comment section lit up. Finally, someone speaking up. Didn't even like this guy, but damn, he's right. Another victim of cancel culture. You did this to yourself. Just take the L. The next day, he went live. 2-hour stream, no filter. You know what's funny? He said. They called me the truth teller for years. But the second I said something inconvenient, I became the villain. He was hitting a nerve, and the numbers showed it, but he knew the blowback was coming. By Monday, the network fired back. Anonymous sources, leaked memos, headlines, former colleagues describe Elliot Graves as volatile. Old tweets resurface. Pattern of problematic behavior. Elliot read them, smiled bitterly. Now I'm toxic? Funny how nobody said that while I was breaking ratings records. He hit back in his next stream. They're rewriting my entire career. Acting like I've always been this monster. Why? Because I wouldn't fall in line. His audience ate it up. The network had tried to bury him. Instead, they'd made him louder. 2 weeks in, his channel had millions of views. The numbers kept climbing, but Elliot knew it wasn't just about him anymore. His latest stream? Quieter, more serious. He leaned into the mic. Let's be real. This isn't just my story. Today it's me. Tomorrow, it could be someone who says something you agree with. He paused. Let it breathe. This is about power, about who gets to speak and who decides what's off limits. They're not protecting people, they're controlling the conversation. One more beat, then he stared straight into the lens. They thought this was over. It's not. And if you think this fight is finished, you're not paying attention. The screen faded to black. Subscribe for more.